just started up. Okay, let's see. Are we working? Checking out everything, seeing if it's working. And it is not working? Maybe it's working? Okay, I'm just gonna start some sketching here. Not doing the whales. I'm thinking moose, a moose, maybe a raven? Like a moose, a raven, orca, perhaps? And maybe a goat? Okay. Oop. Turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. Okay, all right, we're up and running. Moose, raven, orca, bear, goat, 5. We'll add some more. We're just gonna start sketching, have some fun. Okay. Ooh, a snowy owl. Oh man. I like that idea. I will say, snowy owls, so hard. I'm gonna consider it. We'll see. We'll see how the rest of these turn out. First, I'm just gonna kind of, I'm literally kneeling at my desk because I did a lot of sitting the other day and kind of wrecked me actually. Turns out I don't do a ton of sitting. So I'm gonna do, let's see, I'll scoot this over here. Trying to be fancy and like different kinds of stuff. Okay, we're gonna do a moose, a raven, and let's start with the moose when in doubt. So what I do first is I just do a big sketch of just like just about everything, and just adding. Does anybody else have moose where they live? I'm kind of curious. Are these like I know that they live all over the U.S., but are they like a rarity at home, or are they kind of like your biggest thing that you're trying not to hit on the highway like they are here? Okay, I'm gonna do a big old moose. We're just gonna do a big old moose portrait, I think. Just kind of keep it pretty in the face. They got lovely legs, but we're gonna be doing mostly it's big old face here. Some brushes and everything. Never seen one. Lots of moose in Canada. Down in Texas? Wait. Oh, okay. I was gonna say down in Texas, so they don't have moose there. I was gonna say there's no way there's moose in Texas. That'd be brutal for everything, because they say everything's bigger in Texas too. So the extra big moose. I remember like I was born in Maine, and we've gone back a couple times. And well, this has happened in Alaska too, but once my mom was chastising us for, rightly so. I'm sure we were being little brats in the car, but she pulled over to the side of the highway to yell at us, and like when we were all behaving, we went to pull out, and there was like a ton of cars that had stopped behind us because they thought we'd seen a moose or something like that. So I always think of that every time, where it's like, oh yeah, I gotta be careful when you stop in these places that do have moose, because they'll just assume that you found one. Okay, so I'm just gonna do some quick outlines here, and then I'm gonna film with a pen. No moose in the Netherlands, the UK. You used to have moose. In Quebec. Yeah, lots of moose there. Pennsylvania. Let's get this over here. Yeah, tons of Pennsylvania. And then, yeah, there used to be like a bunch of moose in Europe, I think, right? Like Sweden has them, I think. But there's all like the signets of various castles and other places. They're all moosey moose. Okay, loose moose sketch. Now let's do a orca. I'm gonna do kind of a double here. So I did kind of a fun floating whale last time. I think I'm gonna do kind of a mama and a baby orca. I love baby whales. I can't help it. I have done baby belugas before. I've done a lot of baby belugas, so I'm gonna branch out and do a baby orca just to be different. I'm thinking like this. That is not quite its exact shape, but it's with the painting. You get there. Oh, from the Pacific Northwest, we got everybody here. With the painting, you kind of start with the outline, I find, of just a pencil line, and you're kind of just doing like, it's okay to be super sketchy, because you want there to be a bunch of different lines, because your eye is going to pick the right one, and that's kind of what counts. So it's okay to kind of get it a little bit all over the place. So a little bit of head here, all about the cetaceans. Although I can't remember if orcas are a dolphin or if they are in fact a cetacean. Not a citation, a cetacean. And then you got a little head spot, something like this. And then there's a mouth spot. There's some cool fact about orcas. I can't remember what the term is, but the fact that they're white on the bottom and black on the top, like a lot of animals are, including tuxedo cats, but I don't think that applies. And the reason is because they're hard to see when they're below you, and then if you're below them, they're hard to see. So the darkness of the water versus the lightness of the sky just makes them really well camouflaged, which is so true. I've seen them very close up in boats before, and they are kind of like really tough to see until they like flip over. You get a little bit of that spot, and I'm sure from the bottom it's the same. It's the same deal. Yeah, the tuxedo cat side, I don't know how that works out because I don't think I'd be below a tuxedo cat in the water very often. But if I was, tell you what, they'd be really hard to spot. Here we go, little baby orca, just kind of zipping up around there. Okay. These are gonna get fancier, you'll see. Orcas are dolphins, but dolphins are also cetaceans. Oh, okay, so like a square rectangle thing? Is that sort of the deal? Okay, orca, moose. Just replacing stuff up here. I'm gonna make some sketches. I had 3 left, so I did 29 over those 9 hours at the food bank, and I talked a little bit too much. Probably would have figured it out if I drank more water and ate more food and talked less. But listening and learning, and then I have 2 or 3 more to do just to make sure I meet that match. I'll sell these at the end of this, by the way. So if anybody's looking for one, these 4 or 5 are going to go up for sale. Let's see, a little bit of, let's do a big raven here. I think a raven would be really fun. I love ravens so much. Let's see, Luna. Is there a raven named Luna, or are you talking to a person? But yeah, lots of deer too. I love deer. I love raven. I gotta admit, I kind of love the common animals. It's they're I feel like they're kind of underrated. Like dandelions are rad. Ravens are super cool. Crows are super cool. And I think they get a bad rap sometimes because they're like because they do well. But I mean, good on them. If you kind of go in the middle, it's like that's cool. I think it's cool. Oh, Sand Out Chatters. Right on. But yeah, I don't know. This like the I love an animal that's good at what it does, and ravens are just gorgeous. I mean, like imagine if they were like a rare bird, like a jet black, big, smart bird. I mean, parrots are cool too, which are also rare, but like, you know, yeah, ravens. Ravens are cool. Magpies are cool. I'm gonna do a raven. They're also pretty special here in Alaska for lots of reasons. Okay, we got some of these, and then your general face kind of goes down like this. Yeah, something like that. Maybe it'll make you cawing. No, we'll keep you uncawing. And then we got a body and then some legs. Yeah, we'll give you legs like this. There we go. Loose raven. Birds are so cool. It's true. It's true. And as all this gets going, I'll do the pencil outlines, then I'll do the pen outlines, and then I will color them in. Now, if you'd like, I can do more of these too, especially for the Trailbound community, where I just walk all the way through them too. We did a lot of lives. I'm trying to figure out how to straddle everything, but I love to walk people through like a single painting too. This I'm mass painting because I really want to meet that goal at the food bank, and I want to make sure that I can raise as much as I can for them. Now I'm painting a bear. I'm thinking. I have painted these bears before. This is not a virgin bear, but I love, love, love a snow bear because our snow is coming tomorrow, which is really exciting. Drawing these from memory, mostly. I have like actually some photographs that I can see in my room, so that's where we're getting the moose from. This is a big moose that was up in the Powerline Trail, and the bear I've painted before. These are just like I haven't actually seen a cross section of a snow hill with a bear on it, but I can imagine it, and they're all kind of hibernating right now. They should be because we have snow coming shortly, and so it's kind of fun to add some of these little trees, a couple mountains, a couple like that, and you're seeing the full process. So this is just kind of how I often put together these little sketches is just start with something really basic, slowly fill it in. There we go. Bear, one more? I can do one more. Look at that, we have one more. Any super strong opinions? I kind of want to try to go for a mountain goat with the horns. There's the difference between mountain goats and mountain sheep. I think that'd be kind of fun. Let's see. Sorry, water too. I got chastised last time. Correction for from Eastern time. Oh, red-tailed hawk. Oh man, with the owl and the hawk. Was that the same person who suggested that? Because those are two of like the coolest and hardest birds to draw. I'm over here like trying to kind of take the easy route with like a jet black, just a jet black common bird. No, it just got here. Okay, or reindeer. Let's see. I think we went overdone the ungulates. These are great. These are great ideas, by the way. Okay, mountain goats. I'm getting. Yeah, maybe South England. I'm gonna try mountain goat. I really wanted to, and let's see if they got their little face like this, and they got this, and in Alaska, there's a difference between mountain goats and mountain sheep, or sheep and yeah. Basically, one has little pronghorns, one has big fat horns, but they're everywhere in like one range. And then there's a river. My wife grew up on the river that separates the two. So there's just a massive mountain range. Alaska's enormous. There's one river, and it's not a big one. It's a creek, Bird Creek for the Alaskans out there. Bird Creek separates the mountain goats versus mountain sheep. For some reason, they just have like bighorn sheep. Yeah, it's like a thing where they don't, they just don't cross it. So this is a goat, I think, but there's like sheep hunters, people that like to hunt mountain sheep, which I don't know why, because they are like in the most inhospitable places ever, and they're usually pretty quick to tell you if you got it wrong, a sheep versus not a sheep. Kestrels in Alaska, they're beautiful birds, great hunters. Oh, kestrels are super cool. Yeah. And just kites in general, like not the like kite, but like the kite. Kites are so cool. Just how they can like hover and just wait. I just learned about fire kites in Australia, where they'll actually drop like little bits of fire to start brush fires and scoop up tasty animals that are running away from them. Which seems a little bit like, come on, man, that's a lot of damage, but I think as humans we do far worse, so how can I really complain? Okay, eyeballs. Am I getting this right? No, this is the hard part. Let's see, right there. Yes, that's a good enough eyeball, I think. You got a little bit of nose sticking around there. Oh yeah, firehawk, super interesting, especially since multiple species. Thank you for my fancy camera angles. I'm trying to figure this out. Truth be told, I am going to be taking this into the mountains at some point, and I think it's going to go from 3 angles to 1 angle, and a very cold angle that may be very shaky, just because it is going to start snowing here soon. But I was so inspired by the live on Monday. It was so cool, and it like makes me want to take this community with me, because I do a lot of filming. Like that's my job, is to film stuff, but you don't get company, and it was just fun. It felt so real, especially because all filming stuff, you can just like click a button and be like, make this an AI. And I feel like that's all just taking us further and further away from actually connecting. And this is like the most connection I've ever felt with like actual film. Really fun. Probably a unique thing. I don't know if this happens with everybody. It might just be this community. But okay. Pen. We're doing a 0.5 micron. Not paid to say that. It's just what I have. The other thing I use these are little tiny Sharpies, but they have to not bleed. You don't want something that'll bleed like, okay, I think I have only things that won't bleed because of it. But if you like make one of these and then you want to color it in, it's very important that it does not bleed. Okay, so here is our goat. I'm not going to paint this all in. Rescue kites. Oh wait, hold on. What's going on with these kites? Yeah, the kites are where it's at. I'm getting distracted here. Let's see. We're doing a goat. Screwing it up here. I'm going over here. I'm going to give it some. I'm going to give this goat some. Whatever you call it. Mountains in the background. Gotta give it a habitat. Put a little bit of an ear there. Maybe a little bit of an ear here. And then we're gonna put a goat there. I think I'm gonna give it some legs too. So I'm gonna go down here, and then I'll give it a little butt and some legs. Kind of like that. There we go. And then I'll kind of work that way down here too. Something like that. Give a little mouth. And it's kind of funny because it's like you've already sketched this, but it's almost like this is the first time you're sketching it a little bit, which is the beauty of a pencil. Some people would just stop with a pencil too, like in a nice pencil sketch, erase it most of the way, and then just paint on too. So that's always totally fair game if you're looking for some painting to do and you don't want to see the lines. But I'm learning to love them because I love to see kind of where you were. Like in fact, most times I'm also not always erasing the line in full. So just adding this little eyeball here because they have those crazy like squid eyes where they're like sideways pupils, almost like, yeah, just probably shared a common ancestor, you know, normal trajectory. Goats are pretty spunky too. Actually, goats and squid have a pretty similar, let's say, a pretty similar mentality. Animal that doesn't take BS. Has the same eyes. What other commonalities do they have? They both have 8 legs. Oh wait, no. Or maybe, I don't know. I can paint whatever I want. I could do an 8-legged goat. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. And then so doing YouTube and Twitch right now. So I am double dipping. But I have an unbelievably cool community on YouTube. A lot of these kind of Trailbound Sketches, just folks who have been with me through lives. I have lots of tutorials and stuff on YouTube as well. So trying to figure out how to have my cake and eat it too. But I just love being able to share this stuff. But it's also really exciting to think about how to like really just like, what if I didn't have to edit videos? What if I just do lives all the time and just that way I could do cooler lives? I could do lives in the outdoors at the conservation center. I could do lives in the mountains. Okay, a little bit of some mountains. Speaking of which, get distracted. Mountains, mountains, mountains. And we'll give kind of a side, maybe a little cliffy thing here, working its way down and over. That's what this goat will be on, this cliff. Second mountain. There we go. Something like that. And then maybe even a little side cliff right there. We'll make all that shadow, and that should kind of work. Add a little bit of cross hatching too. This is the kind of texture, because these are pretty white animals. Not all the way white, they're pretty yellow too. And this is going to be kind of some of the texture, but it'll kind of melt away here in a second once we get some actual paint on. Okay. This will be a fun one. That should work well. The goat lovers among us. Okay. One goat. Check. Why did I just pick the raven? Gosh, it's going to be the hardest one to do. Okay. Fortifying break of water before starting the ravens. So many feathers. Seeing the paintings your Discord community makes too, it's inspiring too. Yeah, it's so cool. So I'm on Discord. I'm learning all of this. I do painting for, like I'm not exactly the best on the technology side. But the Discord, so we have a Discord as well, which is obviously probably not new to anybody here, but we do a Discord, which is really, really cool, and they are just the coolest, which could be you if you want to jump on Discord. You don't have to be a painter, but we did like really fun challenge. We did something where you don't paint, you make an outline every day in October, and then we'll paint them in one a day in November. I'll be doing a bunch more tutorials and stuff through Discord. But it's also just, people paint are the best. And if you don't paint, you're probably also still the best. Maybe you just have forgotten that you love to paint. I haven't met like a kid yet who's not obsessed with painting. That's actually one of the funniest things for me is I will do these, I'll do, what are they called? Tutorials, or like classes, right? Where it's sort of like, here's how to paint. I'll create tutorials. I'll create all this stuff because for adults they kind of need it. They almost need somebody to hold their hand to be like, okay, here's how we're gonna paint. It's gonna be okay. I'll walk you through it, and then we make a beautiful painting, and they kind of remember, oh my gosh, painting is great, and I love it, and I'm actually a good artist. With kids, they almost like they're like, give me the supplies and get out of here. I don't like, I don't I don't need what you're telling me. I know how to do this, and I just love it. There's just like the only thing they need is like where's more paper when I use up this paper, which is so the mentality I want to get back to of just like let's fill this out. Let's get sketching. Because I was worried about like what if it won't turn out well? What if it goes wrong? And the truth is like as long as you're having fun, it counts. And kids, they get it. They understand. I'm having a lot of fun now, oh, by the way. Okay, let's see. Just came across love painting. Oh, gouache. Interesting. Yeah, the gouache side of stuff. That's my midlife crisis plan. Um, I don't want to buy a fancy car. I just want to get really into gouache. Right now, I'm doing mostly watercolor, but I think it's important to plan these things out. Although, you know what? You never know how long you're going to live. So you never know when your midlife is going to be. So you may as well just have crises, midlife crises all the time. Use them because, like, if you use enough of them, then some of them will be right, depending on how long you live. But, like, if you lived at like 150, your midlife crisis is actually at a would be like 75, you know? So don't count yourself short, especially with the modern medicine. Just got to start this stuff. There's somebody from Montana. Oh yeah, and so how it all works, I'm still figuring this one out. So when these are done, they'll go up on the website, but we'll send out an email. So if you're on the mailing list, that's how you get it first. I think that's your best bet, to be honest, because I think these went like really, really fast, which I'm sorry about. I know a lot of people were trying to log on quickly and snap one up, and they just went really fast. I don't know how some people are faster than others, or like if it's internet speeds or what. But I will say we raised, uh, like in total, it looks like something close to $20,000 for the food bank. A lot of amazing people also just sent in just donations. It was such a cool fundraiser, but also just, we raised awareness. Um, yeah, it was really incredible. I don't know if I'll ever sort of fully grasp it. But yeah, theoretically, they'll be on the website at some point. I think somebody will probably send a link. But there's yeah, it's so cool. Okay, we got some midlife crises happening at 22, right? Because life is unpredictable, and 44 years is still pretty good for like middle age standards. And so you may as well just get it all in. 22 is a fine time to have a midlife crisis, or it could be a practice midlife crisis. If you do live to 150. All right, there we go. Raven, kind of looks like a dove a little bit. I mean, I like it. I like it, but there's something raveny that I'm kind of missing. Maybe their beaks are bigger. That's all right. Birds are kind of the same shape. So if there's a bird that looks more like that, then I need to change the color of. Otherwise, we'll do some nice raveny black. Okay. Oh, there's talk about bobcats and stuff too. That would be an epic one, yeah. All right, so we're doing some this whale now. Let's see. So we got that whale of a tail. Going up, going around. And then, oh my gosh, there's some great advice going on in the YouTube chat talking about the trying art supplies. The only supplies that are wasted are the ones that aren't used. That is, yep, that's I feel like I need to remind myself of that. Although to be totally honest, I almost feel like sometimes I just need a certain amount before I can use it. Like it's almost like I need oh yeah, I think the beaks are shiny and more rectangular. We'll come back to this, Raven. We'll see if we can fix it up. But I feel like sometimes I need like a certain amount of something extra before I'm like willing to use any of it, which is a total fact. You just got to use it, and then once you use it, you grab more. But I've been like reams of paper. If I won the lottery, I'd basically just buy an art store and live in it, and probably give out a lot of it too. Like that would be my lottery thing. It's just like a incredible art store, but it's such a funny thing with art supplies. It's like they're so precious, but the most precious thing is just using them, doing something with them. But that's also the hardest thing. Okay, getting real concentrated here. We got to get this eye spot right. Polar bears also have the same kind of countervalent, I think it is, countervalent patterns, right? And it's funny because you're not going to have a lot of swimming on the polar bears, but maybe it works for them too. Okay, a little bit of this little flippy orca down here, just to get it going. There we go. Right there, flippy orca, baby. I think the proportions are pretty similar. They are the same colors as their parents, I think. Belugas are different because they are, belugas are, hello, belugas are gray as babies, and then they become white as adults, which is really interesting, I find. So baby beluga is actually like a little gray thing. Okay, a little bit of here. There we go. And that is, I did put its little eyeball there, by the way. Like it'll be covered up, but you'll see it. And I'm just gonna add a little bit here. And they do have like little stripy things here. I think it's a bit of gray. I used to be obsessed. My plan is to be an ornithologist or marine biologist. I got to actually travel with my grandma a bit to some of these really cool places, like Iceland and Greenland. And there's a marine biologist and ornithologist on the boat, and it was the coolest thing. And I was like, "This is what I'm gonna do." But to be honest, all I really want to do is just go like sketch animals, old school style, like on the HMS Beagle or whatever the Darwin ship was. But it turns out they take photographs now, so this is kind of the next best thing. Okay, moose time. Here we go. Get a sore arm. Oh. Painting injuries, right? I think it does work great on my tuxedo cat on a black couch. Yeah, they know. You know what? It's like the 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 evolutionary advantage of a tuxedo cat just being able to outsmart us. How did those even happen? Like how I know selective breeding is a thing and all of those things, but like how does a tuxedo cat be a thing? Like did one person be like I want little paws. I have a tuxedo cat for the record. That's why I am especially curious. But like, did one person choose that of like this is what a tuxedo cat's gonna look like, or is it just like a weird gene where actually that is like a natural form of cat, and they're just naturally good at hiding in fancy parties or something? Like how did that all happen? And I do agree. I think we should do way more sketching just in life. That's the other thing too. Is real like everybody's bought in a painting. You are amazing, and we will be doing prints. That was the other thing I was going to say. We are going to be doing prints of all of these. We'll have them available. It's going to take us a week to kind of get them up on the website, I think. But it's because we do them through like we get some really fancy paper. We print them on actual watercolor paper. It feels like the real thing. Although if you have an original, you actually have the real thing, and that's a hard thing because I don't sell originals. So that's but I do in this case. So congrats. If I go crazy or die, that's going to be worth something. Um, but the prints are coming, so we'll have this up and running, and a portion of all of those is going to go to the Food Bank of Alaska. So we're just trying to figure out how to more people. If you missed out on a pika or a moose or a bear or a fox or something like that, you can still get it and still support, because they're going to need it. But yes, what was I saying here? I don't know. My brain is gone. Two kids, and my brain just became a sieve. It's pretty wild. Got a little bit of a moosey thing. I think it's a wattle, maybe. What do you call this? Moose something. Sexy little chin beard here. I think the longer it is, like the more attractive the moose is to Lady Moose. Although I don't know. Pretty handsome thing, I think. Good looking moose. Got to make sure you look your best in this sketch. Okay. Getting my little line down here. Love to make a little bit of a border. And you gotta watch out. Can't cut through. Oh, there we go. Look at this. We got the waddle will technically break the frame. 3D moose in the most small way possible. Okay, we got this. Big handsome moose. There we go. Lovely. Okay. This is, let's see. Bring back sketching. A little bit of this goes up here. We've got a big ear. Another ear. What kind of background for this moose? I could put him in a mountain. Could put him in the winter, in the fall, in a field. Could put it on a. Oh, what else? I could put it on in a city. We do have them here. Kind of fun that way sometimes. Right there, that's where it attaches, right in front of the ears. Up and up and up. There we go. And color. I think that's some color. Tuxedo cats are... Okay, hold on. We're getting some tuxedo cat info. Are you ready for this? This is really what it's all about. According to the Google, tuxedo cats are a bicolor pattern caused by a gene mutation caused from white spotting, which is a result of the gene that prevents pigmentation. Oh, fascinating. Okay, right. Oh, yes. You're tripping some memory stuff, right? Because there's only orange and black cats. I think that's all that exists. So cats are either orange or black, but they can also be black and like vaguely albino, which is black and white, and then orange when they have like versions of orange, it like breaks down into all the cat parts. So it's like technically there's only orange and black cats. Also, tri-colored calico. So like if a cat has 3 colors, it's a girl. I think 3 or 4 colors. There's like basically male cats can't be more than 3 colors. I don't know. The gene stuff is crazy. But there's definitely something I feel like to, orange cats versus black cats. I feel like there's definitely a different energy to some of them. Black cat energy is pretty intense. Orange cat energy is really intense. I don't know about the Siamese and the rest of those ones. I've never had a Siamese cat. And I will say I am not a cat person or a dog person. I'm both. They are both good for different things, especially when one thinks that it's the other. Okay. Or bobcats. I'm kind of curious if they have, are bobcats like the same style. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there. Like the wildcats I think the wildcats are basically just large versions of undomesticated normal cats. Okay, and a little bit of this. Not going nearly as fast as I was Monday, but that's all right. Art is about doing, not about a speed or a time. There we go. Oh, that was a fun one. Name that moose Amos. It's a good moose name, I feel. Okay. Bear. And then let's paint. Oh, let's stretch though. Maybe this isn't the most comfortable way to do it. I was kind of sit. I should probably get a chair, to be honest. That seems like a thing. Seems like a thing people do. Let's put a little bit of border around this one. Up and over. Right down here. There we go. Something so simple about all of this, There we go. Let's see. Apparently 1 in 3,000 cats are male. Oh, interesting. Wait a second. Drink your water. Oh, yeah. That's the problem about streaming is people can see it and tell you to drink your water. Thank you. Hydration. The winter dehydration has started, which is so funny because you're just surrounded by snow, which is all water technically, especially when you come inside and everything's just kind of wet and falling into water, and then it's so easy to get dehydrated. It's like being in a desert, which apparently I think Antarctica is like that. There's one of those places on the north that is technically a desert, even though it's got super high humidity. Okay, a little bit here. We'll just scoot this around. And we'll put its little tunnel out kind of like this. There we go. Make a nice cozy bear. Should I put a baby bear in here too, or just a normal bear? Okay. A little bit of this up and over. We got to get the little butt, big bear butt. Especially because they're full of tasty food now. You've done a good job. You're a fine bear. You ate tons of berries, and then you got lots of fat. Put a little sleeping bear eye. There we go. And then your little bear arms. You probably make a good bear pillow. We'll put this bear arm as your like other bear pillow here. Oh, happy bear. Okay, and then let's do a baby bear in there too. We'll just do a little baby bear. What's a baby bear gonna look like? Ooh, gotta figure out where its head is. Ear, just all snuggled up. There we go. Bears give birth not like during hibernation, like they're probably awake, I assume, during it. Although if not, good for nature. Way to make that easy. but they have their bear cubs while in hibernation, which is kind of a sweet thing. Good time to do it. A little bit here. Let's get these trees in. We'll put them a little bit like that. Right there. But it's kind of crazy to think like you could be walking in Alaska and just you're walking over a bear, you know? Like just you wouldn't know it. There's some stories, I think person Haynes maybe, they're skiing, I think. I don't remember the exact but they skied and then they fell into a bear den. I believe they got mauled, not to death, but like a reasonable amount of mauling, considering that you know, you woke up a sleeping bear. I can't remember if they like skied into the den or like the bear came out because they were skiing over it. Always been kind of a concern. A little bit here, these mountains, and we're just gonna put some of that like this. There we go. Bear, den, mountains, check, and got that nice little cross section in here. We'll add all this here in a second. This little claws and some of that. Okay. Just do some stretching here. Oh. It should be like art stretches of some kind. Maybe that's what Tai Chi is. Maybe all those people that I see in the park are just like secretly all watercolor painters just getting it done. Okay. Let's do some erasing, followed by, oh, where's my erasers? There we go. Okay, let's do some erasing, followed by some sketching and some painting. Someone fell into my house, I would also not be the friendliest. Yeah. Well, and my understanding with bears is they are not, like, most of them aren't trying to eat you. Like, the only bear that will try to eat you is a polar bear. Or a really hungry black bear or a polar bear will actually try to eat you. Brown bears will still kill you, but they're just like punishing you. So they're basically like, you did something wrong and I'm gonna punish you like an adolescent bear or something. But then, you know, they're a 800 to 1,000 plus pound animal and they are not the most gentle compared to our fragile human bodies. I don't know. I feel like it helps me to kind of reframe it that way, where it's like, right, you just play by the rules. You don't scare them. You don't do these things. They're not out here to eat you. They don't want to deal with us, but they will show us what's up. Okay. A little bit of our kind of raven. That sort of looks like a dove. Generic bird. And let's see. There are mountain goats. Oh yeah. These are goats. Okay, right there. This doesn't affect the paper surface too much, and the difference between watercolor paper, I often get this like watercolor paper versus regular paper. Watercolor paper is a lot thicker, and it's like intentionally designed to be able to just handle more water, so you can do wash after wash after wash, whereas normal paper kind of just breaks down, and watercolor paper is often made out of like. Sweep that up later. Watercolor paper is often made out of things like cotton, I think, is like a lot of watercolor paper, and it can just kind of handle stuff. Put this here. Now I got my little close-up section. Do you like my fancy angles? This took much time. But I feel like with watercolor, like I'm usually kind of right here, like looking at it. So it's like, I always see these top-down things. It's like, that's not how I see watercolor paper. Unless I had like a really long brush or something. Like I'm not seeing the stuff from that far away. This is kind of what it's at. But it's nice to see it from far off too. Paint. If this messy palette bothers anybody, I can clean it, but I like to recycle. So reduce, reuse, recycle. That's like a chunk of wash right there. And let's get this here. Okay. Some people asking, let's see. Either way, I just never think of goats as killers. Guess they're like bison. Oh yeah, goats are vicious things. And just, you know, like if everybody wanted to eat you, yeah, I'd be a little crotchety as well. But yeah, like I think more people die of goats than they do of I think significantly more people die of goats than they do of like bear attacks and stuff like that. I think yeah, goats are super dangerous, especially in the national parks and in places like that. Okay, I'm just fixing up my whale here. I made a bit chunky on one side, but we're just getting chunky on both sides now. There we go. Oh, that's a good whale. We have a really cool person on the Trailbound community named Joe, who's like obsessed with the, as rightly so, obsessed with I think J-Pod in Washington, which is maybe endangered. I think it's coming back. They're doing good work, but we're always getting good whale updates from Joe. Okay, let's get this going. Oh, interesting question. How did I discover my style? Let me think about that. It's weird because I don't think I had, like have, maybe I do now. Like I don't feel like I intentionally said like this is gonna be the stuff I do. I think the truth is with watercolor, you just kind of paint enough, and every time you do, you spin a little bit closer to the direction that you like. So for instance, I used to not be very colorful at all. I wanted to do stuff like exactly the right color. I wanted to be the kind of person who'd like be able to do the color and hold it up to the landscape and be like, you know, oh, this is like picture perfect, and you know, make it super accurate and super realistic and paint whatever I wanted. And then as I started to paint more and more and more, I'd make these mistakes, but I like them. So like I would make a mistake by putting too much paint on something, and it's really hard to do with watercolor because it dries lighter than it is. So some like if I want this to look like this, like when it dried, I have to put a lot more on. I know it's going to be a bit lighter, and that's fine with me. But I'd make a mistake and I'd make something way too colorful, you know, way too bright or way too something, and then it would be like I kind of love that a little bit, and it just yeah it I'd intentionally be a bit more colorful. So it's almost like a ratchet. Like you kind of click there and you're like, oh, I'm not going back. I like that. And I think that's how my style got developed. But honestly, I'm really just painting the stuff that I'd like to see myself because it feels so much more colorful out in the wild than any photograph I've ever taken can be. So I always like to kind of add that in there. The outline, the general, most of it is what my grandma painted though. Like I loved her style of all of this, and I definitely maybe not copied, but I think of that a lot too when I paint. But it's just yeah, you paint the stuff you want to see, and you keep on doing it, and that's what counts. And that's why the most important thing to do, and I'll say this like ad nauseum, is just have fun. Like if it's fun, and I love this. I love this is a fun thing to paint. If it's fun, then you'll do more of it, and that's what counts. It's not like what paint you use. It's kind of how many pages you go through, and you go through pages by having fun with it. I'm sure there's like stuff you could paint that it's like the proper way to paint something, or if you paint landscapes or flowers or something, it actually makes things a lot easier practice. But yeah, if you have fun painting cats, just do a bunch of them. You'll get really good. Okay. It is just what clicks. It's so true. It's so true. Got a little bit here, a little bit there. We're just filling this in piece by piece. Bears for days. Well, I could put it at night too, I suppose. Nah, I kind of want like a nice summer day. Okay, a little bit of this. There we go. And I'm just kind of adding, so I'll add these initial layers up top, and then I'll be adding kind of the secondaries. This is just kind of to give shape to some of the mountains. Also, I think I'm going to add some bear color here too, just so I can add in a bit darker in its little hidey hole. I think they're often actually under like tree branches and stuff. I think their caves are pretty dry, but I love the idea of them just kind of being a little snow cave. It is amazing though. Oh yeah, even abstract art. It always counts. Hello. Even in the winter, if you can get into a snow cave, if you can build one, we call them quincies or snow shelters or igloos are technically, I think, out of ice, but they're hunting camps is what they were used for thousands of years. Uh, if you can build a little snow shelter, it insulates you like crazy. And so I've built snow shelters before. My father-in-law's big into winter camping, and my dad would always build snow shelters too. And it'll be the difference if -20 outside. If you're under the snow, it's like 0. Or for the Canadians and metric users out there, it's like the difference between 0 degrees Celsius and negative something. Anyway, is warm, is way warmer. The Canadians probably, they already know. They're like, don't lecture us about snow shelters. We are well aware. Okay, and now I'm just gonna kind of ratchet through a lot of these because we're just gonna layer after layer after layer. Whale, okay. Do we do the whale just floating? I kind of think maybe actually this is one that I'm going to, I think I might put some fun water around these two because they are so contrasty. So, but I'm going to start with a little bit of blue because shadows exist even if you are nice and white on the bottom. Okay. A little bit of this here, a little bit of this there. And just painting in all, if you're just tuning in, I'm painting in all of these that I can. I made 29 paintings on my birthday on Monday, which we sold all of because this community is amazing. And all the money is going to raise money for the Alaska Food Bank because they need it right now. And then I got almost 32. I was trying to do 32. I got 29, so I'm doing 3 more, and then I couldn't help it, so I'm doing 5 more. Okay. Let's see. The offers, demo, tutorials. What I love is the learning of painting. Yeah, it's the thing I think that brings the inspiration. Like the first line on your sheet of paper is actually what inspired you to take it. You know, like before anything gets put on here, you got to be inspired by something that makes you want to put something on here. So like you could be an artist without making a single line on a sheet of paper for 20 years, but that 20 years you might be getting like thoroughly obsessed with elephants. That's what the first art, that was your first pencil, you know, it's in here. Let's get a llama or something like that. Not sure what I was supposed to be painting there. All right, put that there. Okay, goat time. Let's do this. Dearest goat. A little bit of some yellow in here just to make it accurate. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown. It also kind of gives things to break it up a little bit, which is lovely. Oh, not an art question. What are the warmest gloves you wear when you paint outside? I can't find any. Let's see. Zilla was 2K when watching you for a bit. Oh, that's so sweet. It's fun stuff to do, isn't it? Yeah, the best art supplies. So okay, I'm painting some wintry stuff here. I will be taking this stream outside at some point. Not right now. It's very boring and there's not snow. Soon we will be going outside to the mountains. Maybe next week, maybe a week after. We'll find out. It'll be a field trip. But the like the fun about painting in the cold is you get to see some really cool stuff in the winter. It's very hard to paint. Somebody's just asking about gloves. And yes, I will say just patience. Patience is what it takes. When it comes to winter painting though, it is not about patience. It is about rapid choices and just really quickly being able to bust out some kind of a sketch because frostbite is a real thing. And also it's kind of hard because water is known to freeze. So my tricks so far that I've learned, mostly from other painters, but people have been doing this stuff for a while, like all the old school painters like Denali and stuff back when that was the way that you could paint it. They'd put gin and alcohol and stuff in their water and that's what kept it from freezing. Keeping yourself from freezing though, that is a harder part. And someone was asking about gloves the other just now, but also the other day. I actually avoid gloves if I can. The fingers, as soon as you separate them, it's like they're isolated. So, and I've got long fingers that are really good at like losing circulation. So what I'll do is usually wear mittens because at least the fingers can kind of keep each other warm that way, which is key. And then I'll also do a bunch of tricks like you drink a ton of water. And I know like I wish that there's one pair of gloves. Some people ask about heated gloves too. I haven't messed with those. So I'll experiment with all of this, especially when I'm painting more outside with all of you. You'll see it. You also see a lot of screaming, and just like as the fingers warm up, it is a absolutely terrible thing. Whew. It's worth it, probably, but the biggest things I think for your hands are just one, don't let them get too cold. So you got to swing your fingers. Get a demonstration. No wonder my paintings take longer. So you got to like a lot of this is so your blood is literally being forced into your fingers when you go this, and it kind of keeps the blood in your fingers because that's what's going to get them cold is you having your fingers kind of de-blooded because your body's like, well, that's a lost cause, which is kind of what happens with circulation is keeping the blood close to your chest and your vital organs. And so figuring out ways to keep blood in your fingers, whether it's drinking water or putting cayenne pepper lotion on them or just, having nice warm gloves so it doesn't have that problem in the first place. Yeah, I guess I don't have a really good answer. I get really cold hands out there. Pop a tent up and sit while you paint. That's definitely a way to do it too. Tequila goes in my water. Yeah. You can use isopropyl alcohol too. I should say there is a lot of people that will ask about that. Like, why don't you use isopropyl alcohol while you're using gin or vodka? Like, I literally have, this is my local gin sponsor for painting. I legitimately use this for painting. And it's great because it's high quality gin and it's super alcoholic. But you can also take a sip of it if you need to. And you can't do that with isopropyl alcohol. Very dangerous. Do not drink isopropyl alcohol. And sometimes people think I am because I'll be like, yeah, I'm painting with alcohol. And then they'll see me take a sip of it. And they're like, you are going to go blind. Fun facts. Okay. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Getting some kind of color into this too. We'll be adding a bunch more here in a second. I'm actually really liking where this moose is going. Moose, goat. And put that up there. Moose time. I'm working kind of from the lights to the darks too. Like I want to get my light sections in there before I add the dark sections because you can't really go back on that front. This moose, I think I'm going to give you a blue sky. And your antlers are going to be, let's just do kind of a nice light blue sky. I'm putting some trees in here, but I'm not going to outline them because it's kind of like, the background being blurry. I'm just going to kind of do some of this. Oh wait, no, that's hard to do. Quick, fix it. Where's my TP? Aha. This is an artist's best friend. If you're doing watercolor, it can be used for anything. You can blow your nose, you can wipe your butt, and you can fix watercolors. Just like this. Pop, 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 pop. So, as long as it's wet. You can also like wet stuff, and then you can, it's called lifting. Some people are really good at it. I'm still kind of learning it. Okay, so all this to say, I think I need to start with my light sky, and then we'll add some fun antlers in here. A little bit here. And, oh yeah, moose. We'll be taking a field trip to go see some moose as well. This is something that'll happen once it's real winter and once the snow really hits up in the mountains. All the moose come down because it's super snowy, and their jambes d'élan are long but not too long. It's like the only French I know. It means moose legs. They will come down and we'll just get like lots in the neighborhood, and they're pretty chill and don't really care. So at some point I'll either go find some in a car or sit behind a tree, because if they charge you, they'll basically smack into the tree instead of you, and we can go sketch a moose together. It'll be very fun. I'll bring a zoom lens too. I think I can do that through Twitch and Instagram and YouTube. I'll figure that stuff out. But we'll go moose hunting, but like not hunting. We'll go moose like hunting, not hunting. Although we have moose in our freezer, but not from hunting. We're a part of the roadkill list. At least Eve's family is. And so if a moose gets hit by a car, which they do a lot in Alaska, it's very sad. But don't waste it. So there's like a list, and they'll kind of work their way down, call people, and being like, hey, you want this moose? It's on the side of the highway. You have half an hour to go field dress it. And so, it's like 600 pounds of meat, slightly tenderized. And so her brothers and dad got the call like 2 a.m. last year, or maybe this summer, and went out and field dressed a moose and took it home. And then, it's like, because it's an issue on the highway otherwise too, like bears would come for it, and it's a big deal. So just trying not to waste a moose. And we didn't. Sorry, weird Alaska stuff maybe. A little bit of some green now. So this is wet, so now I'm going to be adding this right here. Okay. Right there. Up. And this is going to be kind of giving me some, it'll feel like kind of blurry, out of focus trees, but that's kind of what I want on this one. These are some little Sitka spruce or black spruce, depending on where our moose is. A couple here. And then we'll work it down. Maybe we'll put some yellow, because maybe it's by a field or something like that. Ooh, that's too much yellow. That's fine. Okay. Switzerland. Love the lives. Would love to see outside somehow. I don't know if it's just me, but the video is still lagging. That could be me. How is the internet, by the way? I live in Alaska, so it's not the best. I'm trying to figure stuff out. A lot of people told me I should just get a Starlink, and then that way I could actually bring it outside with the cold and things like that. I will do what the chat tells me. But yeah, is it slow? Good. Just a couple slow ups. The beauty of watercolors is not like I'm doing anything like pretty consequential too fast. It's like, oh man, I missed it. Takes a while. You are literally watching paint dry, which I don't know what that says about any of us, but I love it. Okay. Let's see a little bit of this here. There we go. Oh, I like that background. Look at that. That turned out very nicely. Got shocked a little bit, actually. I'll be using that in the future. That's kind of the first time I really like that. Especially if I broke the frame, that would look so good. Huh. Okay. And let's go and what's next here? Oh yes, a raven that's not quite a raven. I'm gonna try that same background technique. I'm digging that. Okay, so that means that I need some lines. We painting this black? I could make it something else very fast, but I'll need to know almost instantly. Let's see. Okay, and it looks like the internet is decent, so it might be Switzerland that is the problem. But to be totally honest, I feel like it's usually me that's the problem, so I'm happy to take that blame. Sorry, my state is happy to take that blame. I am blameless. Okay, a little bit here. I am gonna break this frame here. So this is kind of a fun little thing. So I'll make it look like this bird is flying right out. There we go. And a touch down here. We're gonna try a raven? I can try a raven. Let's see. Its beak is just, let's see. I think if I get a bit more of, because they have such long beaks. Let's see, we're just gonna do a touch. This, because then it kind of goes down. Oh yeah, there we go. Yep, fixed it. Great. Raven, check. That feels really good, actually. Okay. And then honestly, all this is about to be covered up, so you're not going to see much of it anyway. Raven it is. And let's try this same technique. I think this is really effective. Also, okay. Thank you for the what's it called? What's it called when you get reassurance? Reassurances. Thank you for the reassurances. Unless they do really fast watercolor, then no one will be able to keep up. The lag will be brutal. They'll just like blink and the watercolor will be done. Everybody will be like, oh no, I missed it. I missed the cerulean blue. Pretty low stakes stuff, really. Okay, we're gonna try the same thing. I could put mountains. I'm gonna try trees. I really, really like how they turned out with the moose. And these are the kind of mistakes I'm talking about, right? Not a mistake. I didn't fully mean to have it be that liquidy on the background, but it works and I like it. And then you kind of just keep on repeating that stuff. And I'm sure you could like take a tutorial and you could learn. But this is kind of the difference between, right, teaching a man to fish. Oh wait, no, that's a bad example. Okay, right, because there's a thing where it's like if you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. But the truth is, if you get a man to love fishing, well then he'll waste all of his time fishing. But like I think that's the real trick is you can learn a tutorial and you can make infinite paint. You can buy a painting and that's cool, which you should, and it's very good to support food bank and stuff. But you can buy a painting and you'll have one. You can learn to make a painting, have as many paintings as you want. But if you find the love of painting, then you will make the most interesting connections and friends you could ever possibly imagine. And I think that's what it's really about. They never put that part in the Proverbs though. Okay, a little bit here. We're gonna have a bit of purple, I think, in there too, just to kind of give it a bit of something interesting. Okay. A little bit here. Yeah, isn't that breaking frame? It works. Such a little thing. The really cool artist named Jill Ritchie. If you're looking for somebody cool to follow, go check her out. She's in Fairbanks. Really, really, really cool. And she does a lot of this too, which is just, it's so neat. She's an unbelievable watercolor artist. So good. Okay, we got our purple. I'm thinking purple is going to go into, we can still go purple. Maybe I'll do a touch of blue on the bottom, but I like where this is going. With my colors, I work pretty simple. There's like a lot of people have huge amounts of colors, like they'll have whole palettes full of colors, which is cool. I will say, like a lot of colors is really cool. I find it pretty overwhelming, and I find that the fewer I have, the better, and then they all kind of match, right? Where it's like, if you only have one color in your wardrobe, whatever you put together for an outfit is gonna look like it matches, and it's kind of the same with watercolor. Like if you only have a couple colors on your palette, whatever you make is gonna match and work really well because you only have a couple colors. And so with these kind of things, I actually like less. I think less is more in a lot of those ways. Okay, Raven, check. Now who are we missing? Are we going back up? I think we're now going kind of back. Let's go back here. First, we're just gonna unlock the arms. Oh, I'm gonna invest in a chair. That's like a thing. That's a thing for a reason. I have a standing, like I work standing. I do a lot sitting, but chairs are kind of where it's at. What was I looking for? Wait, this. No, this. Water. Okay. Isn't this cool? Yeah, this is. I feel like these are turning out really well. And it's just fun. Like anybody can do this. It does take time, and the newer you are, the longer it will take. I can do these pretty quick because I've been doing it for 20 plus years. But that's not to say that you can't. And let's try the same thing with these. See, it's just fun. It's fun stuff. I'm not gonna put trees on. Let me see. Put this here. I'm not gonna put trees on there, but a little bit of this here. We can break that frame. And a little bit of this here, right below Flipper Jr.'s tail. A little bit of this up here. Boom, boom. And then we're gonna go scoot this there. Voila. These make a really fun little deck of cards or a calendar, I feel like. Oh, I should totally make a deck of cards. Oh, I think I'm supposed to actually. Oops. Just remembered that. I've taken way too many projects. But you know what? You might get to see like the progress of all of these. Yeah, I just remember, yeah, I'm supposed to do a calendar. I did like the United Sketches of America, so I'm supposed to do all 50 states, but then they make a big picture in the end. It'll be really fun, but I forgot how soon that is due. I'm gonna do a big stream on Monday too. I have a really cool landscape. It looks like this, by the way. If you can see it. it is very small. It will be, there we go. I'm gonna do this, but huge, like absolutely huge. On Monday is my plan. And so if you want to see the process of doing a big painting, it's gonna be pretty intense, but pretty cool. Usually with those ones, my trick is I listen to some like really bad music, which is not bad, but oh yeah, let's see. Are you starting the same time on Monday? I'm gonna figure out a schedule. I'll figure out a schedule for it. I love the consistency of being able to do this because from what I understand, people like a lot of people like watching this during work. Am I getting that right? Which is super fun. And honestly, I kind of get it because it's like a podcast that you can kind of just have some noise in the background. And I'm, as somebody with ADHD, like body doubling is such a real thing. And to be able to kind of do some work doubling with somebody is really fun. And so that's why I'm really excited to do a bunch of this. But yeah, I'll find out like an actual schedule and actually stick to it. But yeah, Monday, I think Mondays I'm going to try to do like a bigger thing. So whether that's a fun adventure or a, like a really big stream of a big painting. And then Wednesdays and Fridays, I'll probably do something a little bit more just streamy. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Probably morning my time, afternoon, East Coast time. Oh, I like that. I like this stuff. This is fun. Okay. Just gonna scoot around. Yeah, cerulean's playing a big role in today, isn't it? That's the kind of blue I use. Cerulean is kind of sky blue. Super useful just in Alaska in general because it's like sky blue or glacier blue or ice blue, which are just kind of reflections of the sky, to be honest. For instance, I'm gonna do some right here. Goat. All right, so with this goat, we need to think about what we're doing. Also, I'm getting so hungry. With this goat, we need to think about what we're doing because I want contrast around its little snoot here. So I'm thinking that what do I need here? I need this to be in shadow, which means that this kind of needs to be in shadow as well. Something like that. So I'll put some rocks up here maybe. Rocks. A couple more rocks. Clearly, this is a very fancy, intentionally done mountain. So I'll be putting this together. Oh yes, okay. Writing diary, going to bed soon. Oh, it's late in the Netherlands. Sorry. Wow, holy cow. Spanning all over the place. Yeah, so I'll try to do it early in the morning my time, and then that would be like mid-afternoon, night in the Netherlands, it sounds like. And I can do that for adventures too, because the sun is just now coming up in Alaska. And it, like, that way we can literally watch the sunrise together. It'll be very, very cinematic. And then it will go down just almost immediately. Okay, what brand of watercolors I'm using? These are, I think, Daniel Smith. I think this palette is Daniel Smith, but I kind of don't pick. I pick by color, not by brand, if that makes sense. M. Graham is great too, but theirs stay a lot more liquidy, so that's what I use for studios a lot. These dry up really fast, so I use them for. Let me show you. This is. Let me show you here. This is my wall. So all of those right there, those are all tubes of paint, and you take them and then you squeeze them out into here, or anything you want. You can do like little, this is called a pan right here. You can squeeze them out into this. Will it focus? Is this autofocus? Nope. This is called a pan, and you squeeze them out and they'll harden. You can also buy pans that are just full of paint that are pre-squeezed out, but all watercolor kind of starts as liquid, and then you can kind of put it in whatever you need. You basically make anything into a watercolor palette. Make your hands into watercolor palettes if you have enough patience to wait for it to dry. But also wouldn't advise that. I think some of the paints are not good for you. They're not toxic. Oils are pretty scary. Oils get pretty toxic. Watercolor is pretty innocuous. It's like a binder. M. Graham uses honey. They use blackberry honey as their binder, and then they just use non-toxic stuff. Yeah, paint's cool. Okay, 10 hours. Yeah, that's a big time difference. We'll figure it out. We'll be painting together. It might be my morning and your night, but it'll be fun. Let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of, this will be the sunny side of our goat. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of blue, just because we got a little bit of shadow some places. And then this will be, there we go. Oh yeah, and I gotta finish this up on like 40 minutes because I gotta get to lunch with my son. Well, also lunch for myself. And okay, there we go. So we're gonna move relatively quick on this now. It's probably moving. Know what I'm saying? I'm dilly-dallying. Okay, got a little bit of this here, kind of working its way down. We will add a bunch of color here in just a second. You'll see it all come to life. Okay, there's that. We'll let you dry just a second. Let's pick up the pace. Now is when the lag is gonna matter. Let's see, born and raised Floridian. I'm pretty sure Alaskan weather would freeze me to death. Can't handle 30 degrees. That's what they say. And everybody, the number one thing, everybody's always like, oh, Alaska, I couldn't handle the cold, I couldn't handle the dark. Fair enough. Maybe that's the case. But I will say the beauty is when it snows, and it doesn't always snow, which is kind of a bummer now, but when it snows, we get some incredible light bouncing off of the snow in all kinds of ways. So in the day, it's like, it's so bright, it's beautiful, it's incredible. And in the night, the moon bounces off it, the northern lights bounce off it, the light from the city bounces up and hits the clouds and bounces off it. So it's dark, but it's really quite bright in a lot of ways. And yeah, which we don't really tell people too much about. We just like, oh yes, it's very dark and I'm mysterious and hardcore. But the cold, you can just always put on more layers. The heat gets me because I can't put on more layers, and it's like my tolerance for heat is so low, and so I just feel like I'm melting always. And you just at some point you just can't strip off your skin. So at least in the winter with Alaska, it's like there are times when it is in fact too cold. I'll cop to that, but you can just always kind of put on more and more and more down, and eventually you just get kind of like in bed because you're just a quilted pile. But that's fine too. Hibernation is a beautiful thing, as Bear would attest to. Okay, right here we got some of our mountains. We're adding a little bit of shadow here, and that's kind of giving us that's just giving us a little bit of definition. Put some of those, there we go. A couple rocks up there. Just because the snow doesn't always cover everything. It's very rare to have like a completely white mountain. That's pretty crazy when that does happen. It does happen, but it's super, yeah, super wild. Okay, same thing here in Norway. Yeah, my wife and I were talking about, like, we tried to go to Italy once and go to the beach, and it just didn't. It was like taking a husky to the tropics. I'm not calling my wife a husky, but like it was like taking a husky to the tropics. She couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it, but she really couldn't handle it. Okay, we're doing Bear here. Just the bare necessities, which in this case are going to include hibernation. And I'm just going to add a little bit of blue, and we're going to add a bunch more blue here in just a second. A little bit of blue to this base. The reason I'm doing this now is because it's going to kind of work up into the cave wall. So as if this is just a little glass cutout for a nice little bear. And then we're going to add some of this right up here. And by putting in that little lip here, it really does look like a cutout. The concentration is real. There we go. Piece by piece, layer by layer. There we go. Look at that. And then I'll come in with like one more darker one just to kind of really accent the point. But I'm doing it all while it's wet because I want it to bleed, is what it's termed, bleed and kind of blur into itself. I want that wet on wet look. And the nice thing is, like, I didn't really have to work too hard because it's just going to follow the path of that water. It's going to do what it needs to do. There we go, a little bit here. And I'll add a shadow around our bear here in just a second, but right now that's going to give us kind of this nice look of bear in cave. Or bear in snow cave, I suppose. There we go. Something like that. Here we are. Not too bad. We'll get the rest of these in just a moment. I love that saying this is a cozy chat, because for me, I love watercolor, but it's very exciting, you know, because like anything could happen at any moment. And truth be told, like if you were to guess what kind of music, like, you know, if you imagine this, like if this is the show, what kind of music could be playing? I assume it's like tranquil, quiet, chill vibes. But what's going on, like what I sometimes need to paint is the wildest, craziest stuff. Like I need just like the music that makes me want to dance is how I'd put it. Yeah, the better the beat, the better, because then my fingers end up kind of doing the dancing. But it's so funny. It's like watercolor for me is a very exciting thing. It's cozy for sure too, but it's like you're in it. Although I suppose when I watch other people do watercolor, it is kind of cozy. So maybe that's the difference. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, and then this is a blackbird. I'm adding all of these different layers because there is a lot of different shapes and shading within a blackbird. Even if you are a raven, there's a lot of colors that are going to be reflecting off those feathers that are kind of iridescent. So I don't just go straight, unless it's like a raven that had parents that were a black hole, which maybe this one will become. We'll find out. But I like to add just a little bit here. This wing I'm going to ignore because it's going to be darker than its head. Same with those feet. Okay, we're getting there. My sister and mom also listen to upbeat music. Yeah, it's funny. It's like cleaning a house, doing painting. Like music has this amazing ability to make us want to move, and I like you can do that through, like you can move your feet, you can move your hips, but also you can move a brush, and it's incredible how it works. Kind of the same. It like gives you the courage to make risks, and that's kind of what this is. Every single one of these is a risk that could at any moment kind of ruin the painting. And step one, you got to be okay with mistakes. Step two, you got to be willing to take them. Take stuff that could make mistakes, and you just have fun with it. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then we're going to use the water. We're just going to let it move. But you can see some of those feathers now have little bits of yellow, little bits of purple, little bits of blue. Kind of brings it in a really nice way. Add a little bit of blue. Whoa, too much blue. We'll bring that on through. Listening to metal when I need to focus. Yeah, no, there's something to it. There's definitely something to it. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna add touch this side. A little bit here. There we are. And we're gonna wait on those feet because we'll let those kind of stand out in their own way. But we're gonna add a bunch of blackness behind them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is gonna turn out just fine. All right, goat time, I think. The goat. Yep, testing for dryness. It is in fact dry. Okay, what are we doing here? I think I have some brown that I need to add. You kind of, yeah, it's just like a garden or something. You're like, right, what do I need to do today? Weed this, do that, who's ready for pruning? You just kind of jump in between all these different beds, really. A little bit of brown up here. We'll add more rocks on the other side of the mountain, but gotta give this goat some rocks to play with. Can't just let it go totally AWOL. Okay, it's amazing. They do kind of come out of nothing, but they also come out of here, and you know, in the real world. So I think that's the kind of the fun. Like that is where the inspiration really starts. It starts when you see one of these animals like on the side of the road, not dead. There's just the goats will often come to the side of the Seward Highway because there's like salt there and there's a bunch of cliffs, so they'll kind of use them as their personal little highway. You'll see them. It's actually super dangerous. People will always be stopping basically in the middle of the highway because they see a goat, which I get. Goats are cool, but also car accidents are not. And there's been like so many fender benders because of goats. Probably the same for Europe, I can only imagine, but I think different reasons and different goats. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit here. Adding some of the, this is just kind of some texture for said goats. Mostly trying to keep it pretty light though. A little bit around the eyes. There we go, and ears, and then around the ear. Yeah, don't want to overdo this. There we go. Right there. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay, so we got this, let that dry. We're moving now. If I was listening to metal, it'd be a lot faster. It's okay. A little bit of some, not a little bit, we're about to do this entire orca. Are you ready? I'm gonna move this, is how like prepared I am about to be. The orca, we kind of want this to be, we'll do a practice. You ready for a practice orca? We want this to be more or less all in one, because I don't want it to have different layers. Orcas are a very smooth thing. So if you want something smooth, you kind of do it all in one layer. And as it dries, so long as it's all wet, it'll all kind of work out. My dad is calling me. Nope, sorry, you're painting. Jump on the live. He hasn't started Twitch yet, but he's on YouTube, which is a big step. My mom's on Twitch, which is wild, and my wife actually joined Twitch to moderate during Monday. We didn't have any mods because I didn't know what mods were, and so she jumped on to become a mod, which is hilarious. Probably also just check on me, make sure I'm not, like, you know, giving up any family secrets or anything. Okay, whoa, that was almost terrible. A little bit here, a little bit there. These will really come to life here in the last couple of brush strokes. So this is a great example. Watercolor just absolutely thrives on saving everything till the last. It's like a Fast and Furious movie, you know? It's like it always comes down to the last little tiny bit. Don't use your NAS. Sorry, I should not make references about movies that I really haven't seen very many of. I saw it once when I was like 10, and apparently it made an impact on me enough to try to reference it. Got a little bit up here. And then because this is still wet, I'm gonna be able to come in with some much darker paints here, and that should work just fine. So here's our, covering up our little eye, but the eye spot is still there. I wonder why they have those eye spots. It's not like, you know, a butterfly or something which needs to pretend to be a snake. Like nobody's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I thought you weren't an orca. Like they are the head whales as far as the aggressors go. Maybe it helps other orcas see them. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there. Okay, now we're gonna come in and add some way darker color. Partially because I needed something that was a little bit lighter, because this right here is sort of where the little grayed out area is. And I wanted to leave that, so we're going to add a darker color up top. There we go. And so by kind of just avoiding that section, that'll naturally just look more gray because it's darker compared to the rest. There we are. Okay. Oh, that turned out just fine. That's a really fun one. And now I'm going to add just a touch of black around the edges, because right here I need to stand out. Also, I think they do a bit of black on that side of their tail too, but there we go. Okay, something like this. Let me just, where's my TP? There we go. Then what you can do is you can blot out your brush. So you can do this, basically make it really dry, and then you're only picking up just like the thinnest of lines. And you can do one of these. Sorry, you can do one of these where it's like this little one. Oh, that was close. All right. Yep, that's great. Okay. Let's see, why is this working? There we go, that's what I need. Okay. That they're watching from 2 camera angles, 2 differences is great. Oh yeah, isn't this fancy? Got all the cameras, all the angles. What I really need is the cat camera, which he's not here right now. But he often comes here and is asleep. So there should probably be like a separate camera, just like on the whereabouts of the cat. Okay, so we got this, we got this. I'll just mess up everything here. Go back to our regularly scheduled geometric layout. Lovely. Moose time. Here we go. Go time. Okay. Moose. They are brown, but brown can be made out of yellow. So we're going to give a bit of a highlight right here. Also, their antlers are pretty darn yellow. I'm not sure. Do I try to do everything at once? Probably. Here we go. We're just going to add some highlights here. This might have been a mistake. We're going to find out if this is a mistake. And then we're going to get these antlers in. Just like that. One little sketch at a time. Right there. Sorry. My voice, like, it turns out that my fingers know what to do most of the time, but I feel like when there's like really detailed stuff, it's like all the computing power goes into like get that line perfect right there. And I'll notice it's just like, oh, I've forgotten to talk or speak or think. And then you come back to reality once you get to the broader stuff. There we go. And I'm gonna have this a bit wider here. This is what that's what we'll see there. Under video. Okay. Yeah, that'll look just fine. They do have some brown on their antlers, so maybe I'll get a little bit of that in, and then make my moose just nicely. Maybe even put some purple in there. I love the colors of the fur of these animals in Alaska, because I feel like it's just like a little bit of everything in the nicest ways. Okay, a little bit of brown around here. There we go. Okay, and we're gonna let this dry itself out here, and then we'll add the next layers. Okay, it is getting hot. Sorry, I think I had the studio little heater on in full. It's that time of year where you can't really get it right. So if it's really cold in the morning, you're like, oh, it's too cold, and then by the time things warm up in the afternoon, you're just roasting. Okay, here we are, getting into it. Moose, you're done. Goat, you're basically just starting. Let's do this. Nope, bear. Let's do some bear. Orcas, actually, I'm feeling like you're probably pretty there. So we're just gonna focus on who needs to be done, and then we'll look at all of them together when they're all finished. So here is a little bit of our. We got some green in these trees, maybe just a touch, and then I'm going to fill most of them in with blue. We're doing on time. Plenty of time. Tons of time. The reason is because black spruce they're green technically, but they're nice and dark too. So we're really just adding some contrast. But we'll get some colors in there too. We might even add some purple for fun. There we go. Piece by piece. A little bit of purple, a little bit of indigo maybe for the tops. Get out of the way, moose. And just adding those kind of upside down, but that's all right. Paint whichever direction I so choose. Bear won't mind. And we're gonna add some water in here just a second to let them all sort of get their mix on. There we go. Okay. A little bit here, a little bit there. Oh yeah, that'll do just fine. And while I'm waiting for that, because I don't want to kind of double dip on this, I'm going to add a bit into the mountains, because we got these rocks on this side. So on this side, the rocks will just be slightly darker. Something like this. There you go. We'll add a sky in just a second too. And let's get our bear most of the way there. Almost there, bear. A little bit of brown. Just coming up right there, right into the center, along, kind of highlighting the shape of the bear. So the brown of the dark shadows of the back show off where the ears are of the front. And that'll kind of highlight our baby bear too. A little bit of purple in there. We're getting there. Piece by piece, layer by layer. And then just put a ton of water in there too, just kind of fluff everything out. There's that. And by fluff everything out, I mean I want that kind of silky, bare, smooth fur look. And that baby bear is kind of like getting lost in that fur, but I think that's probably pretty accurate if I was a baby bear. Okay, so we'll get that in just a second. We're just bouncing is what we're doing. Goat. Let's get some sky on you. Cerulean blue comes in once again. A little bit here. So once these are done, we'll toss them up on the website. We'll send an email to everybody just to let them know that these exist if anybody's looking for one. But like I said, we're going to do prints as well. It might take us a week to get there, but that doesn't change the fact that each one, a portion of the proceeds are going to go to supporting the food bank here in Alaska. They'll still need it, even if things kind of get sorted out on a political level. They'll always really need that help because there's a huge need, and they take on some pretty intense stuff trying to get food to people here in Alaska. A little bit there. We're just using water now because I kind of want a lighter version of the sky down. We get these lovely, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's blue, but we kind of get this lovely almost curtain of lighterness down in the sky. There we go. Okay. So let's add in some of these dark sections on the mountain. I'm going to be adding maybe some purples, maybe some indigos, but it's going to be darker for sure. And that's going to highlight out our goat as well. Probably shouldn't have done that sky right now because I don't want those two to bleed into each other. Oh, that's going to happen. You know what? Might be a happy little mistake we're about to find out. So we're going to add a little bit of this here. We can always come back and add more. A little bit there, a little bit here, going up top, scooting down. Ooh, what's that? There we go, gone. And we can just add a lot like this. Really good way to do it. Little line to kind of show where the kind of snowdrift is, so to speak, and then just kind of blur it out with some water on top, just like that. So now here is the last little bit of this, and I'm going to be adding some nice dark bits right down there. There we go. Lovely curtains of light. Yeah, Alaska's sky is really pretty incredible. I know there's like Big Sky, Montana, and places like that, but it's like complex sky, Alaska. And then this will kind of make its nice little goat chin stand out here, which I really want. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And then while we're at it, let's add just a little bit of this in as well because it's going to be on a bit of a ridge. Okay. A little bit here, a little bit there. Oh, getting all the messages. And saying, come in and have lunch. Not until we finish this goat. And orca and raven and bear and moose. A little bit here. Scooting up. Same on this mountain. And this kind of allows me to highlight out this bit of a goat too. You never know where the shadow's coming from. It just happens to be a nice little highlighty goat. There we go, look at that. We haven't even added its eyeballs in there yet. This is looking good. Okay. Next, That's okay. That's okay. You'll get the full. If you missed it, I'll show you the full piece here. We're going warp speed. Not really. Warp speed and we're still watching paint dry, but we're taking up the pace just a little bit. Adding in some nice bits of indigo right here. This is kind of black hole bird levels, but then I'm going to use water to kind of pull it around. You'll see. Watch this. So here's, gonna blot that out just a little bit. So here's how you can add paint, and then when you add water, it kind of pulls and moves the color, and because we did that nice little bit of yellow underneath, it'll shine through just a little bit, just enough, just the perfect amount. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and then add a little bit of these. I'm going to add this one feather, special feather, flight feather, I think. And oh yeah, this is going great. Okay, and then we're going to do kind of the same down here. A little bit here, just kind of highlight out those legs, and you'll see I'm going around them, and that makes them stand out. So instead of painting them in, this is how watercolor works. Instead of painting them in, you kind of paint them out, and that allows that bird to be there. I'm going to add more of the body because right now it looks like just a tiny bird with a massive tail. A little bit of water. Feather that in. Pun intended. And, well, pun not intended, but I caught it. I think it counts, right? A little bit over here. Oh, I'm missing all the comments. Wait, sorry, what? So much art. It feels like so many people do it digitally now. Yeah, I mean, I've tried. I have an iPad. I do the digital. I can digital, but I haven't found a single substitution for just like playing with paint. You know, digital. It's nice because you can undo stuff. I will say that I don't like I would miss. Sometimes like the pressing something with two fingers is the undo button. I've literally found myself pressing with two fingers onto a piece of paper before. I'm just like, please, like, no, please don't let that massive spill have happened. But it all evens out in the long run. Okay, back to our bear. I gotta get in there for lunch, which is why we're gonna wrap these ones up. Not playing around with the bears anymore. Actually, no, that's just how watercolor works. They start and they're just like these little, you know, they're so fragile and they're so like, you know, these little lines are like supposed to hold up some big landscape. How's that all supposed to happen? But then as they do kind of come to life, I feel like you kind of see it all happening. It's like a Inception, you know, we have all these timelines that are building and building and they all just like come crashing down like at the same time. That's this. I'm not saying there's not a Hans Zimmer soundtrack going in the background, although that is some good painting music. You want to feel epic? Hans Zimmer, my goodness, that man. Zimmerman. Just a little bit of work, and then the way that it all kind of comes in, so cool. All at the end. All right, a little bit. That's too dark. Okay, a bit here, a bit there. There we go. And like I said, we'll be doing this in the mountains at some point soon, and just being able to welcome from Discord. Being able to do this in the mountains soon is going to be so fun, but that is going to be fast. That is a whole lot less painting and a whole lot more like finger management. But I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Because the only thing worse than suffering is not having, you know, between 10 and 20 people watch you do it. Okay. Check. Let's add some color in the back of these. I think just nice little light blue going down to white should be just fine. That's kind of the sky du jour. A little bit here, a little bit there. Okay. And here we go. A little bit of water, kind of smooths it all out. While it's still wet, I can do this. There we go. That should work just fine. Oh yeah, we are basically there with this one. You can't even, maybe it's a light thing, but this is, let me see if I can do this. Does that lighten up a little bit? Oh, no, not too much. Anyway, this looks really fun. Like the contrast is just so working on this. I'm gonna add a little bit of a shadow here just to kind of put our bear in, in a place. That just really adds a lot, I find. And then a touch of water to kind of spread that out. There we go. And we're basically done with the bear. I'm gonna add a little bit of shadow on the trees. We're basically done with the bear. Oh, let's see. I can't find the link to join the Trailbound website. Yes, so there we go. Thank you, Jen. Yeah, and so if you join on the Discord, like we have basically when we send you the first newsletter from the Trailbound website, then you can join on Discord if we want. Just we don't like having an open link to Discord on the internet because not that we don't have anybody we don't love on Discord, but it's, we like to keep it cool and casual, but you are also invited. Just make sure you sign up for the letter, and I think the first newsletter sends out it's like the Discord invite. But it's a really amazing community. Just such cool stuff that other people make. I get so inspired by it. Honestly, even if somebody's following a tutorial that I've done, seeing their version of it, it's like yeah, it's like their own fingerprints. It's like hearing two different people sing a song, It's like same song, same notes. You couldn't do it the same if you tried. There we go. Okay, some goat horns, some goat little bits there. What am I saying? Ears. I know anatomy. And then we're gonna add just a little bit of some goat shadow right here, like this. There we go. That'll do just fine. And let's add in this nose. Just like that. A little bit of a mouth. Just like that. I'm gonna add a touch of some water, just let that mouth kind of get some space and life. There we go, like that. Ooh, actually, let me fix this. There we are. That's what we're looking for. And then we'll get the bottom of this little beard. There we go. And now their eyes are kind of this brown color, so I'm gonna quickly put a touch of brown in there, and then I'll add its little mascara around once it's dry. There we go. That's a nice goat. That's a very nice goat. Okay. Now our moose on the loose, right here. So let's grab some antlers here. Maybe some purples. Something like this should do the trick. A little bit here. This will just kind of give us some contrast to what I'm trying to do. And I'm just gonna put a bunch up here because, yeah, you never know how shadows work. And if we don't know how shadows work, then no one will tell us that we're wrong. Okay, like that. A little bit right off the edge. Oh yeah, other reasons to join the email list thing, whatever it's called, newsletter. We normally just send really fun stuff like watercolor tips and fun things like that. But right now, that's how we're sending out the initial links to, these are on the website, here's the link. I think there might even be a password protection on it because I think things got wild yesterday. I can't remember exactly what happened, but they're just getting snapped up in like seconds. I think there's something to do with the email and that stuff. As I've said, still learning technology myself very much. Luckily, Jen, who is in Northern New York, is kind of the other half at Trailbound and does some very, like, she's always good at kind of fixing the giant mistakes that I make when it comes to, technology. But a little bit here. I think there's a system. All I need is for 3 of these to sell. Not even in 30 seconds like they were going last time. They can just sell in a tiny bit. And then we have our matching grant from Keen. Keen Footwear, they're the shoe company I work for. They were really cool and matched every single painting I sold. So every single one of these sells for enough money to raise 300 meals for the Alaska Food Bank. And then Keen Footwear is doubling that impact, which is each of these is worth 600 meals to the food bank, which is just incredible. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there. Let's get the top of this tree done right. And then we'll put a little bit of this here, a little bit of that there. Add a bit of a shadow, and then the bears are there, which is very cool. People able to buy multiple at once, or can the website prevent that? Yes, Jen will have all the questions and all the answers. There we go. Yeah, selling originals is kind of funny for me, where it's like I feel like sometimes I'll make a pretty painting, you know, almost costing me my fingers. It's outside, it's somewhere beautiful, and then somebody will buy it, and it's almost like they weren't there, you know. So I feel kind of funny about it. This is different because it's for a good cause, and I'll be willing to let some of these go for that. But then also, I just love being able to stream this stuff because a lot of the paintings are going to people that saw them come together, and it just feels so much better about that, which is, yeah, this is really cool. I really like how this one turned out. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of a bear there, and then let's add just a touch of more indigo just to this section, so it kind of feels like we're right in the cutout. Okay, there we go. We got a bit of a raven to go, and then a moose, and then we're done. And I guess was the goat's mascara here. But Monday, be doing another stream. That'll be a really fun one. Can't wait to do a big painting for everybody. That's different. This is about the size. We actually make brushes like this because it's fun to give them away. For the big paintings, you're using this kind of stuff here. Check out the difference between these two. So big watercolors, whole different field. Similar stuff. Like theoretically you're using the same stuff. It's like, you know, difference between talking English and Swahili. Like you're still making sounds, but like there's a vast difference. Maybe not English and Swahili. Difference between talking, I don't know, Portuguese and German maybe? No, they're both Romance languages. Anyway, it's real different. Gotta use the big palettes. It's a lot of fun. All right, here is the last of the moose. Let's do this. One fell swoop, starting with water, then going hard in with the brown. We're gonna round it all out with purple and indigo and blue, but this is what it's gonna start with. Because we have that nice yellow in there, we kind of have this underpainting that will give it some luminosity, something, and kind of give more of that complexity, which is what I'm looking for. Because moose aren't one-dimensional, you know. They are a complex critter. And their coats are unbelievable. Like moose hide is wild. Like it can keep them so warm. They just bed down in the snow. They have one of the craziest coats ever. And you see them and you think it's like, that's a skinny animal. Like how do they stay warm? And the wild thing is they're even skinnier because most of them is coat. It's just like really, really thick moose hide. It's pretty wild. Okay, a little bit there. That's good. Now I'm gonna add a touch more brown just to kind of build up, and then we're gonna hit it with the purples. Oh, I can hear a Stellar J outside. I just started feeding them because I try not to, well, animals are migrating. I try not to put too much food out because I want them to, you know, go where they need to go. But once it's winter and everybody's migrated, and if you're staying, I'll feed you. But I don't want to be the reason you stay. I feel like that's a line from The Notebook. Maybe that whole movie they were just talking about birds based on a true story of the cardinals I saw in my yard outside. That'd be kind of a fun way to do it. Let's see. Do I know how much we made from the live stream? So the first live stream, like, I need to calculate. I'm going to make a video that I'll post on Friday. The first live stream, we met our match, or we will once these go, with Keen. So between these and Keen, I think we're looking at close to $10,000. Like I was trying to raise 4, and then Keen matched it. We hit the 4, we hit the 5-ish, and then through Twitch was a bunch extra. So it's like 1,000 extra from Twitch plus 200 from Instagram, and then I haven't even seen the Twitch numbers, but it's all going to the food bank, and then like what was it, an additional $10,000 of donations just throughout. I don't know how much of that was this community, but I think a lot of it. Last week at Monday they had $400 of donations, and then this last Monday they had 10,200, I think, when we left, which is just amazing to see. So in total, like into the food bank that day is about $20,000, which is enough for 40,000 meals. Like that's unbelievable, and what they're able to do with that is just so incredible. Like, they'll be able to get that to kids and and people in need all over the state, really fast too. Especially that they know that it's coming, that it's there. It's just really, like, it was just the most flooring thing I've perhaps ever been a part of. Yeah, it was really cool. I've never seen a community activate like that, and with the Trailbound community, the Twitch community, Maya gets, credit to Maya. Talk about some amazing people, and an amazing community, and then all the paintings too. I was just focusing on, like, well, I hope all these paintings sell, or like that I can make at least a couple of them, raise a little bit of money. But then we had the news come in. Miss Alaska was there. It was just one wild day. Still kind of recovering a little bit from it, mentally and physically, in the good ways, I think. Just remembering that was real. But it also kind of gave me a sense of like what little things can do. I mean, we're just making little tiny paintings, but it was an interesting enough story that it got out to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And we're kind of seeing the ripple effects of that just now. People like, oh, I saw you on the news, and that was like a reminder to donate to the food bank, or people who donate to their own local food banks who are watching this from Portland and like Eugene, Oregon, and Montana and Wyoming. Like it was so cool. But yeah, it all starts, and it's just like even meeting Maya. So I met Maya and Connor at the Jackson Wild Film Fest, and it's just like it's like these little steps lead to such enormous cool stuff. And I forget that sometimes, that like those little steps are worth taking. And sometimes you don't know where they lead, but it's just like, keep on stepping. Just keep on stepping. Whatever you do, keep on stepping. Okay, speaking of which, get distracted. Gotta get back to our goat. All right, goaty goat. Here we go. I'm gonna add a couple more little chinny chin hairs. Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin, literally. And then let's give you some mascara. Goats love makeup, apparently. There we go. A little bit of that mascara on. And we just gotta get right there. We're just gonna add a little bit of water too, let that kind of blur out and down. I'm going for kind of a smoky eye on this goat, I think. There we go. Cotton Eye Joe and Smoky Eye Goat. There we go. And put a little bit behind the ear. A little bit like this. Just kind of getting those shapes up. Now, once I'm done with these, I'm going to take some pictures, send it to Jen, and then we're going to look really closely at these. There we go. Lovely. Okay. That will do just fine. Oh, no, hold on. There we go. Just got to kind of get these layers of fur too. They're such furry things. All right. Oh, I like this one very much now. Okay. A little bit here, a little bit there, and I think we're basically done. You want to see these close up? I'd love to show you these details. And I'm going to send these to Jen. If you're on the email list, that's where you'll find out about it first. For when these go up. I know a lot of people wanted to get these last time, and they went really, really fast, which is great, but also I'm sorry. And because of that, we're going to do prints as well, and we're going to figure that out next week. But if you're looking for an originals, like I said, I don't make originals to sell. I make them because they need to be made. And oh, I'm done with moose. What am I doing? Sorry. Spieling while I need to be painting. Okay, let me just touch up this. Where are we going here? Kind of a nice blue moose here. So the little eye bit, gotta be getting some here. This has been so fun. I so appreciate all you being here as well. I can't wait to take you outside too. That'll be hard to figure out like how I can look at comments while also being there. But maybe I'll just ask somebody to call me anytime somebody says something interesting. Okay, there we go. A little bit of there. I'm gonna add an eyeball, otherwise it kind of looks like a demon right now. A little bit in here. A little bit over here. And then right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to toss this down. I have like a little heater thing, which is where the cat normally lives. And I'm just going to dry this lickety split. Hopefully without falling on the camera. There we go. I'm like tangled in a pile of wires. Okay, that's there. These are here. I'm going to take a quick photo for, yeah, I'm going to do that and just I'll do it in 1 second. I'm going to stretch and then we're going to look at these closely. I'll send it to Jen and she'll be able to get them out into the world. Okay, here's what we have so far. Oh, the legs. How do people do this? I'm like, it's sore to stand, it's sore to sit, it's sore to kneel. Shake it out here. Oh yeah, this has been really fun. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Just walking it out. It's getting pretty sunny out there though, that's kind of nice. Huge moon tonight. Okay, is that mousse ready yet? Almost. Oh, gotta drink water too. Make sure everybody drinks water. This is like apparently just the #1 thing you can do that is a good thing for everything. You needed a reminder, as I sometimes do. All right, Moosey Moose, you finished? Close enough. Okay. So the moose right here is about to be finished here. We're just going to add a touch of indigo right along the edge. And with the eye, I leave it fully white because I want it to be, I want to add just a touch of brightness. That's what you need in the eye to kind of make it look alive. So I just need to add a touch of brightness, but right now I just want a little bit of just, I'm leaving it all there, but when I add the black in there, it'll just kind of come to life. It does kind of look like a haunted, you know, a haunted horseman, kind of a moose there right now. A little bit of a demon moose. We will be fixing that. It's a thing of nightmares. But soon it'll be a thing of fields and swamps. Okay, a little bit there. Adding a touch of this. Nice fuzzy snoot. And just a touch up here. There we go. All right, demon moose, your time is nigh. As soon as you put your eyes on, you're gonna be just lovable. Okay, dry that off, take some photos, and then let's do this. Ooh, falling apart toward the end of this. Okay, quickly take a couple photos, and then I can't wait to show you. The details are always where it kind of comes to life for me. The creaking. Now it's my birthday, I'm 32, and it's like, it's hitting. I'm like worried to do yoga or something unless I split in half. I do sign all of these, by the way, so when they do go out, they will be signed. I just take photos of them right now. Placing a signature is always kind of a hard thing to do. Okay, there's the first 4. Send this to Jen. And here is, let's check these out in close up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody inspired to paint? I hope so a little bit. Like I hope some people are excited about that. And almost sending it. Right. No. Okay. Before I sent off. Let's take a closer look. But don't take my word for it. Okay, so here is, let's look at these all nice and close. So this is what we got. Here's the bears. Okay, if I can actually work the camera. Nope. You wanna take a blurry look? Here is a nice blurry look. There we go. Okay. So this is the bears. We've got the little baby bear right there. A little bit of that mountain kind of in the background. This turned out really cool. Remember all those colors that I mixed for those trees? I feel like that really kind of that made a really cool effect. And then you got little bears. Okay, right over here we have Mr. Goat. Oh yeah, that eye is perfect. Which is good, because that was kind of a mistake a little bit, but that absolutely works. Okay, this is great. Mountains are working. Some nice contrast too. I feel like that works out. Oh, I love this. Love the background. And the break into the frame too. There's just something so like 3D about it, but it works. A little bit of a bird in flight. Then of course we have our little baby doing a little bit of a, and then the little gray there. And this is a mama, you can tell because it doesn't have that massive dorsal fin. But you can even see its little eye right there. And just like all together. Okay, now let me go grab that moose here. It should be dry. Here, enjoy a goat while I go grab that one. One ungulate to another. Oh, reaching under the tripod. There we go. Okay, and here is, yeah, orchids are kind of terrifying at some level. I don't think they've eaten anybody yet though, which is to their credit, like considering what we're doing to the ocean. That's a testament. Okay. So now we're just gonna add. Watch this. This is kind of the craziest thing. So we're gonna add a little bit of the eye right there, just like that, and it goes from kind of a scary demon moose into just a lovely, kind, sweet moose in just a second. Isn't that wild? There we go. One moose. Check. And I'll just take a quick photo of that one too. Make sure I can send that over. And Jen will get those up and existing. Whoa, too much of a photo. There we go. And I will say its little chin is breaking the frame. So that kind of counts. That's a 3D. That's a 3D sketch as well. Actually, maybe I should give it a bit more of a chinny chin. We'll just do a little bit more, just a touch more. It's a nice little waddle. A little bit more of that hair, just breaking the frame. Make it look like it's on purpose. Okay. Well, there you have it. The moose. We've got the goat. We've got the orcas. And nice little tiny bear, little bear family right here. And then here we have a little tiny bird all together. And let's just scoot this down there, all together, just like that. Okay. Oh, I'm told to resend the moose. Resend the moose since I changed it. Okay, I'll resend the moose. Those last like little millimeters of beard really do make the difference. Can't be falsely putting stuff online. So be like, this is not what I ordered. This moose has a very long beard. I ordered a moose with a very short beard. This is unacceptable. Okay, moose has been resent. All right. Now, theoretically, all of this will end up online here at some point. If you're on the website, you'll see it. Oh, the legs. But this is just a riot to do. I absolutely love being able to do these watercolors together. And for everybody who's on the birthday stream, thank you so much for making that so special. Like, it is so cool to be a part of a community that can come together that way, and just makes me really, really, really excited to yeah, just to do more of that. Like I feel like the world sometimes can be a little bit scary and a little bit how to say it, just a little bit all over the place. But I love being able to share watercolor, but I also love just painting it forward, and how something as simple as a little sketch, or even just watching somebody do a little bit of a sketch can make the world a couple steps closer to a brighter place. It looks a little bit more colorful. Anyway, when is my next stream? Oh yes, okay, right. How do you sign off on streams? I need to figure this stuff out. My next stream is Monday. So I'm gonna try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams. I'll find a time and then I'll try to stick to it. Probably it'll be early in the morning Alaska time, so afternoon-ish East Coast time. And then probably Mondays will be the really fun one. I mean, they'll all be fun, but I think Mondays will be like, let's do a big project. Let's start off the week and do something. Let's get outside. Let's make a big painting. This Monday is going to be a big painting, so I'm going to do a big painting on Monday. Do you want to see it? Yeah, let me show it to you. It's huge. It's really wild. Okay, here. This is. Check this one. Okay, so it's going to look like this, right here. You see that? Oh, yeah, here you go. You see this? It's gonna look like this right there. So we got kind of all these colors. This is just like a test run of it. But then this is the scale. Maybe you can kind of see. There you go. See those little tiny lines? That's all the detail I have in it. This is what Monday is gonna be, and it's gonna be, there's 8 of these. So it goes, it's gonna be massive panorama. I'm gonna literally tape down the entire desk. It's gonna be some wildness. So that'll be really fun. That is a whole different kind of watercolor. That's some big washes, lots of details, really quick. I might have to break up the day, but I'll see if I can live stream most of the whole thing, and then perhaps yeah, I guess when I go for lunch, I can just like put the camera on the cat, and he can respond to all of your questions. Anyway, Monday, we'll start that pretty early, Alaska time, and then I'll try to keep a decently consistent schedule. I am gonna figure out how to get you all outside soon, so I am really excited for that. I'm looking into it, maybe even as early as next week, to try some of that stuff out. But in the meantime, it's kind of fun to bring the outside in. Okay, I'm gonna sign off on this one. But if you're on the email list, you'll be able to see that all go to, yeah, basically these will be available on the website at some point. If you're on the email list, that'll be sent to you, that link immediately. So, and then there'll be really cool prints, maybe even as early as next week, with proceeds, a portion of those going to the food bank as well. Okay, you're all so cool. It's like hard to say goodbye. I feel like Minnesota goodbying on this like whole streaming thing. It's like I had such a good time, and now I'm like procrastinating going back. Where can I send people on the Twitch side? On the YouTube side? I don't know where we should go. On the YouTube side, this has been very fun. On the Twitch side, Alveus, we could go to, I don't know if anybody else is doing something interesting right now. I'm just learning about how to raid people. But Alveus, yes, if somebody would mind reminding me what I need to type, I will do that. Or an artist, yeah. Who else who's on there right now? Alveus. It's hard to go wrong. Interesting animals. It's a good time. Alveus. Okay, let me just. Here's some arms. May I present to you? Arms of an artist. Okay, so r/yes, that's what I need. That's for me. Thank you very much. And copy. And paste. Oh, copy. r/Alveus Sanctuary. Command copy. Paste. Won't let me. Okay, I can do this. Slash. Turn off emote only mode. Oh, what did I do? Oh. I clicked something, and we started with me learning how to do technology. We will end with me learning how to do technology. The Monday stream is going to be very fun. Okay, so r/raid Alveus Sanctuary. Let's see if I can spell this correctly in one, because the second I click stuff, nothing happens. slash raid alveus sanctuary. Alveus sanctuary. Let's see if this works. Invalid username. Oh no. Copy this. I'm gonna try. Copy current address. Nope, that won't copy. Paste. Slash raid Alveus sanctuary. Here we go. There we go. Okay, we did it. Oh, very fun. Okay, well, this is so cool. Viewers are on the raid. Oh my gosh. How many people were on here? It says 80 people? What? That's wild. Okay, that was fun. Well, anyway, I think we're there. Maybe. We'll see everybody on Monday. I think I should raid now. Okay, well, this is a hoot. You all made my day.